Court nullifies reinstatement of Sanusi as Emir of Kano. Cholera death toll rises to 21. Suspected cases hit 401 in Lagos. Troops arrest suspected terrorist mastermind of Taraba attacks. And on the foreign scene, police fired tear gas, water cannons at anti-tax protesters in Kenya's capital. Hello and welcome to Trust TV's news updates. I am Chiamaka Mwafo. Thanks for joining us. A federal high court sitting in Kano has nullified the reinstatement of Muhammad Sanusi II as the 16th Emir of Kano. The court, which delivered a verdict on Thursday, also nullified all the actions taken after the controversial reinstatement. The presiding judge, Justice Abdullahi Muhammad Liman, added that the nullification does not affect the validity of the repealed Emirates law, but actions taken by the governor, which includes the assenting to the law and the reappointment of Sanusi. He said the situation could have been averted if the respondents followed due processes by complying with the court order, which will still have allowed them to carry out their assignments. Justice Abdullahi noted that the respondents, however, decided to act according to their whims and caprices, a situation which he said landed them in a serious mess. The Court of Appeal in Abuja has reserved judgment in the appeal filed by a former Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Martin Amewule, and 24 others against the Speaker, Victor Okojombo, and 5 others. The appellate court adjourned after the parties in the suit adopted all their briefs in the matter. At the proceeding that was conducted virtually on Thursday, Amewule and others are asking the court to stay execution of a high court judgment which saw them out of office. They're also asking for an accelerated hearing in the matter, while contending that the order made by the trial court was without jurisdiction. In their response, Amewule and others prayed the court to dismiss the appeal for lacking in merit because the records of appeal transmitted were incompetent. After listening to the submission of the lawyers in the appeal, the 3-man panel led by Justice Jimmy Olukayode Bada reserved a date for judgment to be communicated to parties in the suit. And London State High Court sitting in Akure has declared the creation of the 33 Local Council Development Areas (LCDAs) by the late Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu as unconstitutional and illegal. According to the presiding judge, Justice A.O. Adebushoye, the LCDAs were not lawfully created. Akeredolu had in September 2023 signed the bill establishing the councils into law after it was passed by the State House of Assembly members after the third reading. The newly created LCDAs are coexisting with the 18 local government areas LGAs in the state, bringing the total into 51. Akeredolu was a senior advocate of Nigeria, ex-president of the Nigerian Bar Association, and ex-attorney general of Ondo State. He governed Ondo from February 24, 2017 till his unfortunate demise on December 27, 2023. His deputy, Lucky Ayedatiwa, was immediately sworn in as governor. The special advisor to the Lagos State Governor on Health, Kemi Oguyemi, has said that the number of recorded fatalities as a result of the cholera outbreak in the state has risen to 21, following the last update which reported 350 suspected cases and 15 fatalities. She also said the number of cholera cases had increased to 401 across Lagos, with Lagos Island, Koshofe, and Itiosa recording the highest numbers. Oguyemi revealed this on Thursday while providing an update on the outbreak after meeting with members of the Lagos State Public Health Emergency Operations Center. She added that the death toll has also risen to 21, an increase of 6 from the previously reported 15 fatalities. According to her, the rise in cases was anticipated following the Ilea festivities, during which large gatherings occurred. She, however, noted that suspected cases are subsiding across local government areas, particularly in previously affected local government areas, due to state government interventions and surveillance efforts. So on the cholera outbreak, experts have suggested that better sanitation infrastructure and access to clean water could have significantly mitigated the impact of the outbreak of cholera. Here's the report.
Cholera, a diarrheal disease caused by bacterium Vibrio cholerae, poses significant risk as it spread through contaminated water, food, and person-to-person contact. Poor hygiene exacerbates its transmission, particularly affecting areas near rivers where sanitation practices are inadequate. These health practitioners stress the critical importance of access to clean water at the community level to mitigate the impact of this outbreak.
Generally, cholera is a diarrheal disease, and the culprit involved is Vibrio cholerae. Most likely spread to water, spread to food, person to person, hand to mouth. The major, or the most, let me say, the most possible cause or possible way by which this is spread is through poor hygiene. I will note that generally the places affected are places close to all this riverside area, and that is because it is easily transmitted through water. So we started seeing the cases. We were worried, we were concerned. At the time, we were asking them their source of water for cooking, for use at home, where they get their food from. Because these are the possible ways in which individuals could contract the disease condition.
Residents of Lagos are urging the government to take proactive measures to curtail the spread of the disease.
The place I'm coming from, or the place I'm residing, there's no good water there. You know, every building has their own, they provide water for themselves. Okay, they drill boreholes. Okay, they drill boreholes. And those, some have tanks up there. Okay, the whatever, what's it called? They will pump water from that borehole up to that tank. And that tank, those water there are not treated. Okay, so there might be some bacteria that will store in that water. And it's very, very detrimental to human health.
Cholera disease that is ongoing in the country, the government should at least, our health care centers in Nigeria should be able to find a source to disseminate information to the masses. One, and also the masses on their own should also try to keep a good hygiene, a more good hygiene, and wash your hands thoroughly, eat proper food, do the proper things you ought to do to avoid this health issue. But in terms of the government have also some duties to perform here by going to the health centers or other health organizations to provide necessary medications to fight against this illness, you understand, and also to enlighten people about it.
Residents are calling on the government to provide essential medications to health centers and educate the public about preventive measures against the illness.
Still on the outbreak, Nigeria is currently in a race against time to contain a cholera epidemic. The current outbreak claiming the lives of over 30 persons across 30 states in the country, according to data from the Niger Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC. Experts in the public health sector have called on governments at all levels and citizens alike to detect the drivers of the infection urgently, provide access to high-standard water and sanitation facilities to communities to curb the disease outbreak and phase out its subsequent recurrence. Here's more of the story.
Cholera, an acute diarrheal infection caused by ingestion of food or water contaminated with the bacterium Vibrio cholerae, is a recurring disease in Nigeria, which recorded its first appearance in 1972. Since then, intermittent outbreaks have occurred, with a severe outbreak surfacing in 2010 and leaving in its wake a trail of about 3,000 cases and 781 deaths. Another outbreak was recorded in 2020, which escalated to several parts of the country for most of 2021. Despite being preventable and easily treatable, children continue to suffer from the potentially fatal disease. The reason for this is not far-fetched, according to experts.
As long as the population continues to grow, we continue to build and urbanize and also expand housing without addressing sanitation, without addressing water supply to homes, then there is still that risk of having these outbreaks of cholera from time to time.
While many Nigerians lament poor access to potable water sources and sanitation facilities in a bid to curb environmental pollution, they, however, try within their means to keep safe and healthy.
We have borehole, and that's what we use basically for cleaning, for cooking, and we take seaway, the one on the dispenser. Yeah, so that's what to do. And then I ensure that my kids wash their hands after going to using the restroom. And by the time I get back from the market, I ensure I wash my hands.
People should make sure that they keep their environment clean, and they make sure there's no stagnant water around the vicinity where they're staying, because these are the things that can also lead to this cholera. And again, the kind of water they use in the drink and they use in cooking, if they are not sure of the safety, the purity of the water, they can boil it.
My water access is tap pipe water, tap borne, and we'll make sure our environments are clean, and especially cooking with clean water is another thing. Since cholera, the easiest way to contact it is waterborne disease.
I don't just take water anyhow. Sometimes when I go out, if I find out that the location I am, the water may not be good for my person, I just have to wait till I get to a location where I know I can buy water. And some persons might also believe that bottled water is actually the best. It may not be the best, because there are some persons, some individuals that are dubious in their business. They can look for the empty can and pour water in it. So one also have to be mindful of that.
With the rainy season in full swing and fears of possible contamination, there are calls for more awareness on prevention strategies.
People must wash the things they eat, then as much as possible cook what you eat. This is not the time to experiment with raw food, because you don't know where or how it was prepared, where it was prepared or how it was prepared. And the major drivers of transmission for cholera is still food and waterborne. So it's still from food sources and water sources.
Although Nigeria is said to have the capacity to diagnose and treat cases, curbing the disease goes beyond the healthcare system.
For every outbreak, there are predictors of the outbreak. So for instance, in the country today, the moment with the economic situation, you have hyperinflation and a situation whereby access to water, potable drinking water, has become more and more expensive. The way they are able to process this water that they get from maybe rainfall or from other sources, surface water sources, etc., well water and all that, may be where we have some of the contamination and infection that is leading to the outbreaks.
Stakeholders say government at all levels must set up early warning mechanisms to identify potential hotspots and regularly provide situation updates to the population while intensifying mitigation plans and community surveillance measures. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
On security matters, troops of 6th Brigade Nigerian Army and Sector 3 Operation World Stroke have apprehended a suspected terrorist mastermind who was allegedly responsible for the killing of 5 persons at Mararaban Azakawa village in Bali local government area of Taraba State. The arrest followed the June 16, 2024 attack that led to the death of 5 people, with several others sustaining varied degrees of injuries. The Acting Assistant Director, 6th Brigade Army Public Relations Officer Oni Olubodunde, said this in a press statement detailing the operation that led to the arrest. According to Olubodunde, the suspect has admitted his involvement in the crime and is providing valuable information that could lead to the arrest of his accomplices. Meanwhile, the commander of 6th Brigade Sector 3 OPWS, Brigadier General Kingsley Chidiebere-Owa, has applauded the public for providing useful information leading to the capture of the suspect. He urged the public to continue supporting the brigade's efforts to eliminate criminal elements in Taraba State. Still with security, the Nigerian Army Aviation is set to take delivery of 2 fighter aircraft Bell UH-1H in Abuja. The Director of Army Public Relations, Major General Onyema Nwachukwu, confirmed the expected arrival of the aircraft in a statement on Thursday. He said the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taobid Lagbaja, will launch the aircraft into operations upon arrival in Nigeria. Lagbaja had in September of 2023 disclosed that the Federal government approved the purchase of 12 attack helicopters for the service. According to him, the procurement of the fighter aircraft would help improve the operational capabilities of the Nigerian Army. To more stories, traders at Ajebori Market in Agege have appealed to the state government to expedite action on the construction of the Akerele Road. The ongoing construction, they said, is disrupting their businesses and posing a threat to their survival. Here's the report.
The ongoing expansion of Akerele Onuwa Road in the Agege area of Lagos State appears to be on hold. In early January 2024, the Agege local government chairman Ganiyu Kola Egunjobi initiated the road expansion with a target completion date of 6 months. Although significant progress has been made with the completion of the drainage system, the project is seen to be delayed due to few store buildings situated along the drainage path. At the entrance of the street is an old 2-story building on the left side that has been partially demolished by the contractors, leaving the occupants displaced, while the interior is now filled with various types of debris, emitting foul odors.
I think it's because of that building at that junction, and then another building on the Outbreak market. I think the two buildings is disturbing them to do the work. The plate that can help us to do the road in time can help us to make our business improve. What is doing this road, this work is because of the two buildings. One person is there and the down one. The two buildings there is doing the work. Then they have finished the gutters. That's what is laying the road. If they can destroy or demolish the house, that two house, they will hasten the construction of the road.
Because this road has been for a long, more than 20, 30 years that they abandoned it. But thank God it has come to our streets to do the job. But one thing I know very well is that by the special grace of God, very soon the job will be completed. And pertaining the houses that has been demolished, maybe the chairman has not settled them, I don't know yet. But immediately they settle, the house will be left out and the road will be completed.
There is a particular building disturbing the construction of the road. But the building is at the entrance while the second one is at the other entrance. That the building has caused delay. I don't know what make the building to cause delay. Maybe the delay is from the local government or from the from those that are constructing it. I don't know what made that delay to come. But I know that the building is the major problem for now.
Some traders who craved anonymity commended the road expansion initiative and urged the contractors to expedite action on the job.
There was a little challenges, of course, why building the gutters. Because there are some buildings that are affected. So we have to see those people and tell them, mark the places, and begin to schedule how they are going to come about to dig the gutter. So there are some challenges in that area, the buildings that were affected.
Ajebori traders believe that completing the road expansion project will improve the flow of their businesses and customer traffic.
For quite some time now, the problem of insecurity across many parts of Nigeria has continued to affect agricultural production effectively, leading to food shortages and threats to other sectors of the economy. In this special report, Trust TV correspondent Idris Jibrin takes a look at Insecuritys' impact on crop production and livestock farming in northern Nigeria. Here's the report.
As competition for land and water continues to intensify, long decade of violence between farmers and herders worsen across many parts of northern Nigeria. Farmers are still trying to come to terms with this effect on crop production. You can see these cattle on this open grazing area, but there is no food. That is how we are roaming about the bush every now and then. All the grazing reserve areas have either been converted to farms or have been vandalized. There is absolutely no place where we can go and graze our animals. That is why every day we are having conflict between us and the farmers. Because we don't have choice. These are animals and you must feed them. Apart from farmer-herders conflicts, the problem of modern farming techniques, fertilizer, seeds and insecticide have continued to threaten crop production and livestock production. the situation many farmers believed to have worsened the problem of food insecurity in Nigeria.
Gaskiya muna fama da yanayi na rayuwa da yake komai ya riga ya sauya.
You see, we cannot be able to produce enough food for Nigeria. This farm that you are seeing belongs to me, but I have loaned it to somebody. That person is paying me to now work on this farm for him, because we, the local farmers, we don't have money to buy fertilizer. We don't have money to buy insecticide. We don't have money to even take care of the farm. So how do you expect us to cultivate? We can't even cultivate even what we will feed our family, talk less of to sell outside to other people. Across many parts of northern Nigeria, farmers at this time head back to the farm for this year's wheat season farming. At the same time, herders are struggling to feed their animals, effectively creating rivalries between the two similar people.
When you talk of insecurity, you are telling us that there's no, the farmers, not only the farmers, almost everybody would have no time, would have no, what do you call it, to concentration on whatever activity you are doing. So the effect of insecurity on farming means that there's going to be less food, because farmers will not be able to cultivate their farms, and therefore there will be less food. There is going to be inflation. There's going to be absence of, let me say, food security.
The implication of these, according to experts, is that Nigeria is threatened by the inability to produce enough food for the populace, even as dairy and livestock farmers struggle to meet their challenge.
If the government will intensify the effort, at the same time make a vigorous advocacy, awareness, to formalize the informal process of milk collection, milk production in Nigeria at large, there is enormous number of volume of raw milk that can be harnessed, collect and utilized to feed this nation.
Although several government policies, including intervention in the agricultural sector, are expected to take effect, farmers believe that unless farmer-herders conflicts are resolved, fertilizer is subsidized, and modern farming techniques become sufficient, the future of crop production and livestock production in Nigeria may likely continue to remain bleak. Idris Jubrin, Trust TV News, Kanu.
Away from Nigeria, over in Kenya, Riot police fired tear gas and water cannons to disperse thousands of demonstrators in Nairobi on Thursday as coordinated marches took place across Kenya against government plans to raise $2.7 billion in additional taxes to reduce the budget deficit. Spraying people with purple-colored water from water cannons, police sought to clear protesters in Nairobi's central business district and block their path to parliament. It was not clear why police used force as the demonstration appeared peaceful. The Kenya Red Cross Nairobi branch said on X that it had attended to 8 injured people from the protest, but did not give more details on the nature of injuries. Police spokesperson Rezila Oyango and Nairobi Police Commander Adamson Bungay did not respond to requests for comment. Protesters say the tax rises will hurt the economy and raise the cost of living for Kenyans who are already struggling to make ends meet. A parliamentary panel urged the government on Tuesday to scrap some new taxes proposed in its finance bill, including new ones on car ownership, bread, cooking oil, and financial transactions. And in sports, the Super Eagles have fallen by 8 places in the latest FIFA rankings, moving to 38 globally following dismissal outing in the race for the 2026 World Cup. Nigeria lost to the Benin Republic for the first time and had before then drawn South Africa in 2026 World Cup qualifiers for Africa, leaving their hopes of reaching the competition hanging in the balance. In FIFA's latest ranking released on Thursday, the Super Eagles are now 5th in Africa, following 2 steps behind on the continental pecking order. That's it for news updates at this hour. For more of our news, programs and documentaries, please do want to follow us on all our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I am Chama Kanwafo. Please remember to stay safe, clean up your environment.